Welcome back to another episode of Rated TNT, the show where we talk about TV, movies, music, fanfic, fandom, and everything in between. I'm Tay, that is Tim. And I know y'all know the other faces in the room with us. Please welcome back Tress and Alex to Rated TNT.
Yay!
Thank y'all for coming. We're gonna start a little bit different than what we usually do. Instead of jumping off into press play, let's do a little check-in and see how are y'all doing? How's y'all's week? What's going on? How's life?
Yeah, life's good. Just adulting. I found out my dental insurance was not on automatic payments, so I don't have dental insurance anymore. Mind you, the dental insurance was only $11 a month. That's why I put it on automatic.
Yeah.
Evidently, I did not put it on automatic because I don't check my mail. So there's that. So I'll be paying for dental work out of pocket. Love that.
You should start checking your mail.
I don't know.
Did the insurance lapse or something?
Yeah, like it lapsed.
Mm.
And I genuinely from the bottom of my heart remember because it's $11. I was like, oh, just put that on automatic. I don't gotta worry about that. They said, oh, and you cannot it can't be reinstated until next year. I said, oh.
Well.
So gotta find a new dentist and yeah, just adulting. The things you do when you're 28, and you're off your parents' insurance.
Yeah, because one thing about it, being an adult is not fun. 10 out of 10 don't recommend.
At least we have fandom.
Yes. Tress, how are you this week?
Also adulting, looking for a full-time role for after I finish my grad program. It's very hard to find something. I'm finding myself getting rejection letters from even internships, which really pisses me off because I've had like 8 internships, working on my 3rd degree. Not really sure how I can't find employment, but
Girl,
we
send me
will
your
find
resume
something.
because I can lie for you and just change a few things. You gotta lie. That's
And
how I
will.
got all my jobs. I be lying. I mean, I can do all the stuff, just for the record. I can't do everything. I just lie about the title. So that way it looks like you have experience. Just lie about the title.
Yeah, okay. I will be sending you my resume after we're done here.
Internships? No, it was contract work.
Ooh, wake that up. Wake that up.
Yeah, you gotta lie.
Too, actually, because what are we talking about?
You gotta lie. You gotta lie. And they don't be reading these resumes anyway. You just need to get on the phone and get that, and then you can start finessing. But lie.
Okay, yes, I need that because I need a full-time role. Stat, because this little pity payment that I've been getting from that CRP on TikTok, yeah, I need a job.
Payment is
Pity
correct.
payment is
Pity
but that's
payment.
what it feels like.
It does.
No, because I used to make, decent money on TikTok. Now they're like, all that video we used to pay you good money for, no money. I'm like, okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Anyway,
The payout's been a little rough, hence why my nails are not done, but that's okay.
it's okay.
We're gonna be all right. We gonna get there.
We gonna be all right, just like Ariana Grande said.
Right.
Miss Ponytail.
Miss Ponytail.
Was quite literally listening to her before I hopped up on here.
Period.
Love her bad. Tim?
We're good. Those taxes are in fact looming, and I have not even started. But I have compiled all the necessary documents, so we'll get there.
You're a step ahead of me.
What? Because I ain't even did that.
I ain't even did that.
Don't rush into adulthood because it's really downhill.
Stay in a child's place.
I will say it's very easy to ignore a lot of the things about adulthood.
It is.
Like,
True.
do I owe money to the IRS? Yes.
Probably.
Do I care? No.
But
I signed up on a payment plan and forgot about it because the fuck, what else am I gonna do?
Yeah.
It's just like, it's the same concept of like when you fail a quiz in like college or in high school, you just got to keep it pushing. Like you really can't sit there and linger over the fact that you failed a quiz. You got other shit to do.
You got to keep it pushing.
And that's really the best training college can give you.
It is. Mind you, everything else is burning down around us. So,
right.
Kind of makes all that other stuff feel unimportant.
The IRS has a CEO now. I'm not too worried about them.
Like, be for real, actually. No, I definitely agree with, like, taking it on the shoulder and going, I have 5011 problems. Do you think I'm going to sit here and focus on them? No.
Nope.
I got to go to work tomorrow. I got to pay bills. I got other things going on. Like, life be lifing, and I just gotta roll with it. So,
It do be lifing.
it be lifing, and it lifed for me this week too. I'm tired. I'm hungry. I'm going through it. I could use a little bit of coffee right now. The week was the week, and to be honest with y'all, that's all I got.
Yeah.
I could do a whole podcast episode about what was going on in my life. I'm just not gonna do that. The week was the week, and we're gonna.
At the end of the day, the day's got to end.
The day gotta end.
Like that.
The word,
I'm gonna do the
word.
best I
Okay.
can. I'm gonna do the best I can with what I got.
Word
Yeah.
Shout out to Mariah Carey.
Yeah.
That's all.
Amen.
That's all. If y'all couldn't tell by the backgrounds at this point or the title of the episode, we are in fact back on that hollow up. Actually, never left it.
Never
Never
got off.
left it. We never left the cottage. Y'all. We have always been off that hollow off. In particular, today, we want to talk about the music. We want to talk about the soundtrack. I know y'all was obsessed with it because I moon my man real bad. Every day, all the things she said. Yeah, I'm on it bad, and I want to talk about it. For Press Play today, we're going to talk about Heated Rivalry and its soundtrack. And the first thing I want to know from y'all, what was your first impression of the soundtrack when you heard it?
Just like from the very beginning.
From the very beginning, as a whole. As a whole. So, like, I use an example from a movie and not a show, though. Twilight. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know how when you hear a song, or like, I think we have certain expectations going into shows, talking about them needing to have like a really good needle drop, and like the feeling that it provokes in you when you hear it, or how the songs are tied into the scenes. So my question mostly is wanting to know from beginning to end, or we can do episode by episode, whichever ones resonated with you the most, and what was your impression of the soundtrack as a whole?
I think the soundtrack, I was pleasantly surprised that it wasn't just a bunch of like pop songs you heard on the radio. Like, it was nice not really recognizing any of the music, because I feel like it doesn't give me any preconceived ideas of the song, if that makes sense. Like, if like in the long game, Diamonds being their wedding song, their like first dance, which I have my own opinions on, but when I hear that, I'm gonna have so many. I mean, just talking about it, I have so many other ideas of the song Diamonds. I'm not thinking it with Holland, but all of the songs in Heated Rivalry now I associate with Holland. Like, one of them was in Grey's Anatomy that I'm rewatching now, and I was like, "This is the song from Heated Rivalry." But I was like, "Actually, it's a song from Grey's Anatomy." But other than all the things she said, I hadn't heard any of them, and all of them are bangers.
Yeah, I didn't even like really tap into the music until all the things she said. That was when it really started to like click for me. And I think it's because I didn't really recognize any of the other music. It was very cohesive altogether, especially now that the soundtrack is fully like released and you can listen from start to finish to all the songs that were there. Like, it's a very cohesive project. Like, I can tell that there was care put into selecting each of those songs, even considering like the budget that they had, right? 3 pennies, like, and they made them all stretch,
Rub
like,
them together.
right. But you can tell, like, looking at the full soundtrack, like, there was a lot of care put into selecting each of those songs for each of those specific scenes. But I didn't really like focus too much on it until all the things she said.
Yeah.
I agree with that. And also too, I think I said this in one of the previous episodes about Heated Rivalry, like from the fashion to the songs, they did a really good job of putting you into the 2010s. I have such an eye for 2010s fashion and music, and kinda like what you were saying, Alex, like, My Moon, My Man, or even all the things she said, like, I've heard these songs in other shows from the actual 2010s, but now I'm like, "That's from Heated Rivalry." Like, they did such a good job of encapsulating that decade of time, like, from Shane wearing Sperry's in that one episode to My Moon, My Man, like, that was the trends in that time, and I think that they just everything in the show was done with care, and I love that.
Also, just thinking about it, the first song that made me pay attention was the song, I think it's called Sea Lion.
Yeah.
Oh, from episode 1?
Yeah,
Yes.
that was the first one because because when I watch it, I have the subtitles on, and I saw the lyrics, and the lyrics had me weak as fuck. It was like, you think I'm pretty? You think I'm pretty cool? You wanna fuck me? I know you want me to. I was like, oh yeah, this is Ilya Rozanoff down.
Bad.
Like, it was such a fitting song, and just when I saw the lyrics, I wasn't paying attention, then I was reading the lyrics as I was watching the show, and I was like, "Wait, what did they just say?" Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I did pay attention to the music before all the things she said because I did talking about Sea Lion. I really liked Sea Lion because of the scene it was also playing in. I think it's the cadence of the song or like the Sea Lion, the way that it's going. And when it's playing, when it hits that part, it's Shane getting ready for to meet Ilya.
Mhm.
And like it kind of like I think the feel of the song kind of like pushes the his little anxiousness and his anxiety. And then once Ilya gets into the room and the door closed and the music shuts off, I said, "Oh, y'all did that actually."
Right. The
It
tempo's, like, matching with, like, the anxiety, yeah.
yes. And so I paid attention to that one and really, really um liked it. Did not recognize the song though. It
Yeah.
was the same way with My Moon, My Man for me. Did not recognize the song. Did see somebody say something about it being on Grey's Anatomy. And then I was like, oh, okay, this song kind of old. I didn't realize that the song was from like 2007 or
Yeah.
2008. But I also think that it fit really well because I think that was playing during the montage of episode 4. Y'all know how I feel about the montage. Y'all know I love that bad.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah, I think but I do agree with you, Tim, too, also about it being cohesive, the soundtrack. And I'm also meaning like the original pieces that were made just for Heated Rivalry. Um, I like them a lot.
I mean, all the songs are gonna get me up if I'm being honest, like, and I will say now when I hear songs that are that are new to me, I do think, honestly, not even just new to me, like, all songs I listen to, just like, "Oh, Shane Hollander would love this." Or I'm like, "Oh, this is so Ilya Rozanoff coded." Like, because honestly, none of the music I listen to Shane would like, if we're being honest. He'd probably be so overwhelmed
Does
with
he
what I
even listen to
listen to.
me?
I think Hudson said he listens to, like, white noise or something.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
yeah, like
Baby.
I don't know if he was joking or not because,
right.
it's really hard to
It
tell when he's being serious and when he ain't.
truly, like, but I do listen. I think music is such a good I mean, music is a storytelling element in and of itself. So I think when you have great music and then a great story, and that music and the story matches perfectly, you kinda just, struck gold with that. And I think Heated Rivalry is a perfect example. I think Twilight, like you said earlier, is also another good example because there are so many songs where if I hear them, best believe I'm not thinking of anything else other than Twilight. I mean, Twilight has a whole, like, time of year dedicated to it. As soon as we hit those Burr months, it's Twilight
Ooh, I
season.
love a burr. I love a
Like,
burr.
as soon as we hit the months, it's Twilight season. And I know Thanksgiving, that month between Thanksgiving to Christmas, I'm sorry, that's not Mariah Carey season anymore. That is, in fact, Hall and Off season because that was a crazy ass 4 weeks we went through.
Yeah.
Why they chose that timeline, granted it's Canadian, so they don't celebrate Thanksgiving, but that was a hell of a
Oh, that's
time
right.
to release that show because I was fighting spending time with my family, also trying to watch the show. Like, it was a lot, but they have a whole, like, time of year now.
And come to think of it, I can't think of nothing I did for the holidays except
Mm.
this show. That is the
Nothing.
only thing that's coming to mind when I think about the holiday season last year.
Everything was planned around, like, I convinced my family not to cook on Christmas because I wanted, like, the first time in my 27 years or 28 years on this planet, I convinced my mother not to cook, and my grandparents they went on vacation for the holidays. So I was like, "Well, it's just us. What if we just got something to eat? You don't wanna cook. You don't have to worry about all the dishes and, getting the greens ready. We just did that for Thanksgiving. You don't wanna do all that." She was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Yeah." because I'm trying to get the fuck.
I got something to read.
Right. I need to watch my show.
Have to watch that show because, like, for my family, we always watch a family movie together on Christmas night, and it's never Christmas. It's like Knives Out or something, like, you know, a movie we all like. And I was just like, well, y'all, I think everybody's tired. I think we should all just go to bed. Meanwhile, I was going upstairs to watch my show, and I was like,
Right.
yeah, why even do all that when we could just do that? So,
And you know what? Now that you mentioned that, Tress, I don't think we watched This Christmas last year. We watched This Christmas and Almost Christmas. Is
mhm.
Almost Christmas the one with Monique?
Yeah.
Yes.
Ever since that movie came out, we watch it every year.
Yeah.
And I don't think we watched either of those this past year because I was like,
Gotta
we also weren't home all
go.
day, but
Start a
yeah,
new tradition.
a new tradition. Yeah.
Amen.
And because my mom really did say, she's like, yeah, I don't want to cook on Christmas anymore. I was like, you don't have to.
Right.
No, because my show will be on. Yeah.
Okay.
K barbecue. I for sure. So my mom was like, "Oh, you don't have to cook anything. It's just me and you. We can
Yep.
watch TV. We could go get dinner. Then when I can come back to the house, I can watch my show.
Right.
You can go do whatever you want to do. Because
Right.
yeah,
I had my family wrapped up by the
Yep.
25th
Yeah.
because I was like, I've got somewhere to be. So let's go ahead and get this celebration out of the way.
Mhm.
Love you all so much. I got to go.
And just for anyone who's watching or listening who's not Black, I need you to understand how significant that is. Like, to
Right.
wrap up any sort of holiday family gathering that early, unheard of. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
like the stars really were aligned for all of us to make that work. And I'm not complaining, but I do think about that sometimes. I'm like, I fear that would not have worked 5 years ago. Like, I don't
Oh,
think that would have happened.
no, like, because that is serious. Like, normally we end Christmas at like 9 o'clock, and I was like, we have to be done at 6 because not only did I need to be available at 11 p.m. Central to watch the new episode, I obviously had to watch the 5 previous ones as well. So I had my little brother's
Right.
new game system set up. I had my mom and my stepdad. I made the little sangria. I said, have y'all a drink? Why don't y'all spend time together as a couple? I'm gonna go upstairs and watch my show. Like,
Right.
don't be worried about what I got going on in my room. Thank you.
Right. Like, I picked a restaurant, like, maybe, like, 4 miles away from my house, and I was like, "Why don't we just go
Go there.
there? I'll drive. Y'all don't even have to worry." We ate dinner at 5, which is early as fuck,
So early.
and then we were done by, like, maybe, like, 7:38 because I was like, we can take some time, you know, we don't have to rush, we got, some time. Because I was okay with not watching all that. I was like, I'll take that sacrifice, you know, I won't watch all the episodes before I'll take that
Right.
sacrifice.
Right.
But
Give and take.
So brave.
Right,
Lifestyle give and take.
it's about balance, you
Yeah.
know, it's about balance. And my mom was like, "So you're really doing all this for your show?" I was like, "Yes,
Yeah.
I am." Yeah, I was like, "I surely am." I was like, "You remember all them times when I was younger and you used to be rushing to
Mm.
get home to either watch Brian Williams on, what was it, like NBC or something, or watch, Scandal?" Same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing. This is just better.
Yeah. Gonna wrap this up.
Yes.
I'm
But
so
yeah,
sorry, we definitely just, like, diverted the whole conversation.
we
That
did. We
is,
did.
like,
But it
my
was
fault.
great because
We always do.
I'm glad that we were all able to make it happen because at 12:01 on the dot, we were locked in. And at
In.
1:01 AM, we were on that live.
Right.
Yapping away with 1,000 of our close
With, like,
personal
1,000
friends.
of our closest friends, like,
Love them dearly wherever they are now.
Yeah.
right, haven't spoken to none of them since, but
Yeah,
we'll see them when season
exactly.
2 roll around.
Exactly.
Honey, we gonna
They
have
know where to find
3,000
us.
of our closest cousins on that
Right.
live.
Yeah,
Right.
they know where to find us.
I genuinely still can't believe that it was that many people in that live with us.
I
Like,
didn't even notice. I was just excited to yap with y'all. I didn't even look up and notice the
Yeah.
number of people in there until somebody said it.
I noticed because I would always start the lives because I would make a video screaming or crying, post it, then immediately go live. And then I just remember seeing how quickly the numbers went up because like those first 100, okay, like that's kind of normal territory.
Mhm.
Gone to 200, 300. I was like, okay, we got some people. 500, I was like, 800, 1,000. I
yeah.
hit like 1,200. I think that was the highest number that I remember seeing. And I was like, wow. We really
That was crazy.
I love that show bad.
right, all of us just taking lines of hauling off in the bathroom. Right.
Promise.
Yeah.
Real bad. Real bad.
But
And I
yeah.
do it all again.
Right. And we will.
And we
We'll see y'all
will.
for season 2. You know?
They'll be back up there bad, really
Yeah.
bad.
Speaking
Mhm.
of season 2, I think it's true that Jacob or somebody said the budget isn't increasing that much. But what songs do we want to hear in season 2? What do we what do we want
Oh,
to
she locked
what
in.
do we want to
I
hear?
already had a list.
If there's a specific scene that you want to align it with, please do that as well. But just in general, like what songs do we want to hear in season 2? And I'm gonna go ahead and start by saying anything sang by the Adele.
Yeah.
Specifically Love in the Dark. You know, I have a He Won't Go is very near and dear to my heart.
Yeah.
You know, so if we can work that in there, I would like that as
Him,
well.
don't play. If I turn on my show and I hear He Won't Go, I'm going to run a 5K around my neighborhood. Like, I'm gonna be just that off that.
Yeah.
If I hear He Won't Go in anything, I would lose my shit. But if I heard it
In my show?
because I'm also thinking of the lyrics, Can't Do It On My Own. Like, does not that not match like the therapy scenes?
Yeah.
Like,
It does.
I
yeah.
couldn't handle that because He Won't Go. I feel like, not to go on a whole Adele tangent, but like tangent, that's such a deep cut. Like,
Yeah.
if they were on He Won't Go, that would mean they're in our walls because I feel like we're the only people who talk about He
Listen,
Won't
and
Go.
I
Right,
just
because they don't
know
have that many Black people on the show, and that's
they
the song
don't.
she did for us. So
And
I
I
don't
just
know if
know
that form can be.
I can't prove it, but I know deep down in my spirit and in my soul, Adele loves Heated Rivalry.
Oh,
That's her
Yeah.
cooking and that's her
One
jam. I know she loves
100%.
that show.
and I
She watching it right now. She just texted
right.
me and told me she got her show on.
She was absolutely at that cottage with us. Like, absolutely. I just
Oh,
know
yeah.
probably so many artists who would willingly give their song despite the budget, be like, don't even worry about it. Just like, because also the streams for all the things she said and all of these songs spiked. So they would get their money back tenfold.
Mhm.
But yeah, any Adele song. I also could see them doing similar to what Grey's Anatomy does, and they put covers of songs, like slowed down versions or like sped up versions, but it's a cover, it's not the original. I could see them doing something like that if they did an Adele song. That's what I think they would do for Diamonds by Rihanna. Cause I love my girl
Yeah.
Riri. I'm glad she's okay after that crazy bitch was shooting at her house, but I just can't picture Diamonds
Mm-mm.
like the original version of Diamonds in any scene. Like, but a slowed down version because the lyrics fit.
Yeah.
But I can't picture the original version. I get irritated every
Because why would she do that?
like it's so not a first dance song. Like I can hear it playing at a wedding, I could hear it in any other scene, but just a first dance? Huh?
And I
No.
think somebody asked her and she said she thought it was funny or something. I want her to stop finding shit funny. Because
See,
every
Jermaine
time
love
somebody
to tell a
asks
Yeah.
joke.
It wasn't
Jermaine
ha
love to
ha
tell a
funny.
joke.
It was
no,
not funny. Because I remember reading that and I said, the fuck?
What is this?
Right. I remember thinking, like, I reread the scene because I was like, am I at the right scene? Like, am I picturing the right scene in my head right now? Because what you mean diamonds? Yeah. Oh, but the song I want to be in Heated Rivalry season 2,
Mm-hmm.
she finna play it. I'm sick.
Untouched by the Veronicas.
Oh.
I'm
Well,
sure it's
that's weird. I
wonderful.
thought you could hear. I genuinely thought you could hear that. But that's okay. This probably makes it easier so you don't have to get copyright strike. But
Oh.
it's the song's like I feel so untouched,
Mm-hmm.
and I just can't forget you. That song, yeah,
I'll listen to
it
it
just
later.
the energy of it fits the
Fits the
show
show. Yeah,
so well. Like it to me, it's in like that same wavelength of like all the things she said.
it
I
is.
don't even know I could see it for like a montage.
Yeah. And I listened to them back to back. They were definitely like in
Right.
the same playlist for me.
Yeah, they're like same level. As soon as I saw they re-recorded it, I said, wait a minute, the girls don't woke up for season 2.
Yeah. Yeah, a new adult version. When I heard the new version, it made me feel the same thing it did when Allie and AJ re-recorded that song and started cussing in it. I said, "Oh
Wake
yeah,
that
this
up.
is
That
for
changed my
adults.
life.
This is for grown. This is for grown folks."
Yeah, this grown folks business now.
Except for the fact it was my birthday, my fucking
Right.
birthday. Yes. I
Yeah,
was like, come on, girls.
Like
yeah,
that,
they need to get that in there.
yeah, I would say Untouched by the Veronicas would be my pick. I think I feel like that would be like the season 2 version of all the things she said.
Yeah, I would love TIO by Zayn or Pillow Talk by Zayn. I feel like they could work that in there
Yeah. Pillow Talk.
seamlessly
Pillow
somewhere,
Talk.
anywhere.
You think I would be running around if they put my baby daddy Zayn, I'm telling you, I'm gonna be biting at my cage. Like, are you kidding me? If I hear TIO in anything, yeah, I just want to watch you when you take it off. Is that not? That's in my Off That Hauling Off playlist because yes, Ilya does be watching Shane take it off.
It does.
Which we will link in the description of this video.
Yeah, like that's a good one. That's a
That's
good
a
one.
good one. Yeah. I would be happy with anything from Miss Ponytail.
I was gonna
She
say
has
Miss
such an
Piggy.
expansive discography. There's so many options.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she got songs for every mood, every vibe.
Every mood.
Because I'm
Whether
sorry.
you freaky, sad, whatever, Ari got you.
Right.
Mhm.
I'm sorry. Needy is in fact Shane's song. I don't care what nobody said.
Mhm.
What
When I
is?
said Needy, when I seen
Oh,
the edit to that, I said, actually, this song was made for you, babes. It was
Yeah.
made for nobody else. Nobody else at all.
Their
I can.
first dance should have been Honeymoon Avenue.
Yeah.
wake that
Yeah. Yeah.
up.
Yeah. I don't think Miss Reed knows about that one though. I don't think she knows about that.
No,
I'll
that's a
take some
that's
for
a
Ray
deep
Ray. Don't
cut.
worry. I'll take some
That's a
for Ray Ray.
ponytail deep cut.
Right.
It's a
I could
deep
see
cut.
Pete Davidson being in I Thought You Into My Life. Whoa, look at my mind. I could see that being
That
in
would be so good.
being in like just like a little background, not like a whole
Mm.
scene. Like I don't know, other than like the therapy scenes, because honestly, that's just gonna have to be satisfied. It's gonna
Yeah.
be some sad ass music.
Yeah.
Like
Which everybody has been putting, because I think somebody else had asked this, Down This Hill.
Mm.
Ooh, I
That
love
song.
Down this
what's
hill.
that one?
The Sienna, what is it? Spyro?
Yeah, I think Spyro.
Spyro?
That's the one that's like,
Everybody's been doing the
thought I
one.
wish something mattered to you.
Yeah.
I'll take
Yeah.
this, like,
I'll take my pride.
Take my
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that
I
song
couldn't
is
get the words
so
out.
Yes.
That song is so
Yeah.
good.
That would be
I
my
don't really
Yeah.
know how this song would work, but I feel like Ojos Tristes by the Marias and I hate to say it, but Selena Gomez and Benny Blanco.
Mm,
But it's the man
Mm.
with the sad eyes. I feel like that'd be perfect for Ilya's like therapy. And we know he loves Bad Bunny.
yeah.
So
A
Yes,
Bad Bunny song has to be in there.
Yeah.
Has
for
to.
sure.
if
Like
I
even if it's
hear
just
Nueva
Ilya,
Yo,
right?
I'd be
Even if it's just Ilya like working out and it's like he has
Yeah.
it in headphones or something.
like,
Like I got a shiver when you said Selena and Benny Blanco. Like
that's what I was like. I hate to say it, but like Ilya's gonna be so depressed, and I feel like that was also a song that I associated with the character from another program we used to watch. So seeing it fit one of them, that'd be
right.
great.
I'm looking like through my playlist now. There's so many good songs.
I think they should bring Big Ol' Freak into the narrative. So many of
I
us
think
now
they should.
associate that song
I think they
I
should.
think they
with
should.
Heated
Megan
Rivalry.
loves that show. She
She
would
does.
yeah, and this is
Oh, she would
confirmed.
give it to him for free. She'd
Yeah.
be like, "Here,"
People have
and
asked,
she's
like,
so
girl, you seen
down.
the edit? She said, hell yeah, I seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody needs to get Megan on the phone because they've got to work that song in there. Somehow.
Right.
Somehow.
Mhm.
Also, we could also go do a bit of a deep cut and do Ride by Sierra.
Yeah.
You know?
Wait a minute now.
So
Hold
for
on.
the niggas, you know?
Hey, there's
So
got to
for
be a
us.
song for us. Like it's got to
Yeah.
be something real black for us.
Right. Right. Like there's so many good songs. Like I could see Moment by Victoria Monet.
Mm.
Yeah.
Even if it was just the instrumental. The instrumental I think would work really
Yeah.
well.
I like All For Us by Labyrinth and Zendaya.
Well, Labyrinth said he getting up out of here.
Yeah,
So
he said he's not fucking with Hollywood no more.
Yeah, I need to know what's going on with that. We can talk about that offline, but I need to know what's
Right.
going on with that.
We need to do an
He's
investigation.
listen, cause he's too talented for them people to run him up out of here like that.
Listen, I'm
I'm
just
telling
happy he
you.
didn't say nothing about Hans Zimmer. I was scared. I was like, don't tell me Hans Zimmer crazy. Love me
Okay.
some Hans Zimmer. Now, if Hans Zimmer got on and did a soundtrack, listen, because I still think Cornfield Chase from Interstellar, that's like the popular one. It's such a beautiful song. I feel like that could fit easily with Hauling Off. Um, Teenage Dream. So if we did the Blaine Anderson version of Teenage Dream from Glee,
If they
yeah,
got Glee covers in this damn show,
I ain't hit that
listen,
yet.
Get
listen.
Darren on the phone. Get Darren
Right.
on the phone.
Hey, you got a while before you get to that one. You got a while before you
Okay,
get to that
okay,
one.
okay. I did make some progress today. I said, oh, I ain't hit that one yet.
Yeah, you got a few seasons.
Ooh, I love me some Amy Winehouse. I feel
hmm,
like Love is a Losing Game could be so good for like some real angsty stuff.
mm,
hmm.
I,
Valerie would make a cute little montage.
I'll
it was.
cry.
Ooh.
Valerie
Okay.
is my favorite song ever. I would literally sob.
I'm gonna say we need the Glee version. Santana Lopez needs to be singing
Come
that.
on now, come on now.
And that would
Oh,
be so beautiful.
Yeah,
I need to hear that.
cause she would have loved that show.
She would have
Naya
loved.
Rivera would have loved Heated Rivalry. I
She
know
would have
that
And
with
you
all
know
loved
my
it.
what,
heart.
Tay? I know you're not there yet. You haven't watched enough of Glee, so that's
I'm
okay.
just gonna sit back on this.
Okay. Because I posted a video about this, but I want to ask y'all's opinion. If they did a Heated Rivalry episode of Glee, what songs do you think the characters would sing? I think
Actual songs that are in the show or just like
songs from the show
okay,
that that characters from Glee would sing. Like I
okay.
think Quinn would sing My Moon, My Man.
100%.
110%.
She would eat that
She
damn.
would body that. She
Like
would body
I think
that.
Ben Hudson, may he rest in peace,
Mm,
would sing was the I'll Believe in Anything song when Scott and Kip
yeah,
kiss. I could see Finn, maybe a little bit of Blaine, maybe a little bit of Sam, but definitely Finn. Definitely Finn. Thoughts?
I agree.
I
I
agree 100%.
I'm thinking about Mercedes, but I'm like,
I know.
what
I
the
fear there's
hell
no
would she?
powerhouse
There's
songs.
not. And
None.
that is something that like I've noticed from the soundtrack and like even in the songs that we've been listing, there ain't really no hoot and hollering songs on this soundtrack.
None.
But
Like
you know what they should
not a
add to
one.
it? They should have I Have Nothing by Whitney Houston. That's hooting and hollering. That
It's a
I
good one
fear,
though, a good hoot
It
now.
is.
and
yeah.
Yeah.
Mercedes could body that in a Glee episode. Can you imagine?
Didn't she?
Wait,
No,
she did.
that was
She
Kurt.
100% did.
I thought that was
That was
Kurt
her.
who sang it. That
I,
was
No,
Kurt.
you're right. You're right.
Kurt
but
sang?
but the actress Amber has definitely
Oh,
sang it a million
yeah, yeah,
times.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
think she did it on the show though.
No, that was Kurt who had it because I was pissed off. I was like, now why in the hell would they give this song to Kurt?
Mhm.
But
That's the
Like,
thing. I've heard her sing that song before
yeah,
though, but no, I think that would be beautiful. Like that would be a better wedding song for Holland than Damn Diamonds.
right. They're gonna have to slow down Diamonds. Like, it's gonna have to be a cover because it just, I don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
And don't.
I don't want to see
I don't
them
even
try
want
to
to hear
dance
it
to
slow
that
down.
either. Like,
actually,
Yeah. To the
mm,
Glee thing, I would give all the things she said to the Unholy Trinity. They would eat that up.
for sure. But I also feel like Tina could eat it up too.
Yeah,
Mm.
add her in there.
Right.
Because
A
they
little
got to cycle through
unholy.
both versions. The
And
OG
do.
version and then that like club version.
Yeah.
Oh, that club version is
Unholy
so
Trinity.
good.
If I had to get a Glee tie, it would say the Unholy Trinity. Like that, I love the Unholy Trinity so bad. Tay, you've already met them.
that is that the little three cheerleaders.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah, just icons, truly. Yes,
I can't wait until you get deeper into Glee Tag.
I
You're gonna be
know.
obsessed, sister.
I'm trying. I'm trying to make my little way through it. I did make some
It's
progress today, but
it's
it's just
so
like
fucking
6 seasons,
funny.
22 episodes each. So
Mhm. Okay,
Absolutely.
we're getting off track. I keep forgetting
Right.
that this is actually a podcast episode and we're not like yapping on
Right. We're not just
Facebook.
yapping.
Okay.
Okay, let's lock back in.
Yes. Okay. Back to the music of Heated Rivalry. I do have a question. We have brought up Grey's Anatomy a couple of times, and clearly, My Moon, My Man was in Grey's Anatomy, but it didn't quite click in our heads until Heated Rivalry. Why is
Mm-hmm.
it? Because I also didn't notice it. As somebody who has seen every single episode of Grey's Anatomy, and it could just be because there's a million episodes, but it never registered in my head that this song was also over there until I heard it over here.
Yeah, I think that's because the scene in Grey's Anatomy, it was a George and Izzy scene in the elevator. And like,
Mhm.
ill. Like I
Yuck.
can't stand neither of them. I wouldn't pay like I just
Yeah.
it
Mm.
was a scene where Izzy was telling George that like she's in love with him, but he's still with Callie. Oh God, spoiler alerts if anyone's watching Grey's for the first time. But yeah, it wasn't a good scene. Like
Mm.
it yeah, it wasn't a good scene. Yeah, that's why I think didn't pay attention to it. Like, and I don't think the volume also wasn't that loud either. Like there was talking going on over the music. So
Mm.
the music didn't really have a chance. Like it wasn't, sometimes they have music when they're like showing a patient. There's no talking, like so that could have been why.
Mm.
I definitely think it just wasn't memorable. I think Heated Rivalry did a really good job of like pairing songs with meaningful scenes or utilizing the song in a way that would make it memorable. Because I think every time we hear a song now, like y'all said earlier, I automatically can hear the or visualize the scene, and that's even with the music that had no words, like the little instrumentals. Like I can hear it and like, oh, that's the scene when da 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 happened. I think they just did a really good job of pairing it with it. Mama, my man was with the best montage ever. Like there are a couple of little scenes within the montage that we saw that automatically like tied to the song. So
Yeah.
I think that like Gray's the scene wasn't substantial enough um for it to like register because I've watched Gray's or like rewatched the scenes, the seasons that I really, really loved a couple of times and it never registered. But I know if I hear from now on, if I go to another show and I hear
Right.
My Moon, My Man, I'm gonna think about this one. I'm not gonna think about Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah.
Mm.
I feel like the music did a lot of heavy lifting in Heated Rivalry. Probably because the budget, and they were making it do with what they had.
Right.
But I didn't even realize how intentional the music placement was until I had rewatched like multiple times. Like not even just pairing the song with the scene or the vibe, but like pairing the lyrics of the song to what is happening on screen. Like with all the things she said and the this is not enough and the I'll believe in anything and the sunshine part and like so many times they like paired the actual lyrics of these songs to what was happening, like what we were seeing on screen.
Yeah. And I wonder if they had the songs in mind before filming, um, or did it come after? Like I wonder like how in like the filming process did Jacob figure out? And I know there's like an actual that's like a job too to
Yeah.
do the music. So I don't know the actual title, but I wonder like was it filmed and then they came up with the soundtrack, or did they read the book, come up with an idea for a soundtrack, maybe like storyboard, like, hey, this is the vibe we're going for. We need music from this decade, low key in our budget, like, stuff that isn't maybe as recognizable. Like, I wonder what the process was from like ideation to execution. Because you're right, the timing of the lyrics, it assisted the storytelling so well. And I just wonder like what was the like they've interviewed the intimacy coordinator, but I'd love to see an interview with the person who was behind that.
That would be good. I want to know who picked all the things she said because I feel like, that's something that I noticed throughout Heated Rivalry is like every single scene felt exactly the way I thought it would just from reading the books. And I just, when I was reading the club scene, I was like, what song could they use this for the TV show? Because obviously I started reading the books after the first 2 episodes were already like out. And I never would have thought all the things she said, but that was the perfect song for that scene. Like I don't think any other song would have been as good in that moment. So I really want to know like whose genius idea was that?
Right. Yeah. Let's tap into their minds because
Right.
They're
yeah,
a visionary.
a visionary.
Yeah. And also to use both of those versions because either version would have been fine for the
Mhm.
scene, but
Exactly.
to start with one version and then like slowly transition into the other,
Mhm.
Genius idea.
genius.
Yeah.
Genius.
Genius idea.
And that's why the Heated Rivalry night was such a disappointment. Because I'm like,
Shut up.
just
Yeah.
because like the music in the show was so good and so many people fell in love with the music from the show. Granted, the music that people tied to edits and things like that just as good, but there should have been a lot more. The soundtrack should have done a lot more heavy lifting for Heated Rivalry nights. Like it should have been every other song you're hearing something from the soundtrack.
Right.
Because again, we're all there for Heated Rivalry. We all know these aren't songs you're supposed to be throwing ass to, right? But we
Right.
still would have had fun if we heard "My Moon, My Man," you know. Um,
You
but
should take a little something to my moon, my man. Like,
right, y'all saw me throwing a little bit of something to what's his name remix song from Sinners. Like all I need is beat. All I
That's
need
your
is
little song over there.
and I'm a make it work. So I feel like the Heated Rivalry night kind of really missed out on a good opportunity to like highlight how good the music is in that show and just how much the music assists in the storytelling. Because I mean, we're sitting here talking about the music now. It could have been, we could have had it all.
Yeah.
We're
Rolling in the deep.
Rolling
right.
in the deep. Okay.
Rolling in the deep.
I love
It
that
was
role.
it was disappointing. It was
Yeah.
disappointing, especially because the soundtrack, I feel, very much like holds up outside of the show. Like
Mm-hmm.
the show adds, a lot to it. Like they work really well together, but even separate from the show, like it is just a really good, cohesive soundtrack. And I'm pretty sure it was out when these Heated Rivalry nights started,
Oh,
or at least like came out like in the earlier days of them beginning, so it wouldn't have been, I don't think, a heavy lift to incorporate it, especially because no shade to the DJ that night or the DJs around the world, but she was just hitting play. So it really could have been anything. It wasn't like you spent days mixing and putting all these things together. Like you was just hitting play and then stepping back, shake a little ass for the crowd. Like, like it just seems like we could have put some more like intentionality and thought into these things, especially considering the intentionality and thought put into the show.
mm-hmm. The DJs, at least the one we went to, if she is a DJ, she was not DJing that night.
Not at all.
no. I mean, and y'all know I had my thoughts on it. Y'all know I made
Yeah.
a little thing. Everybody else seemed to have a good time, and I
think a
love
lot of
that
people
for
were
them.
fucked up. Like,
Had to be because like
yeah.
And I
it.
think a lot of people also don't care about fandom to the degree that we do, so they were not disturbed by the way the editors were being preyed upon, essentially.
Yeah, exploited. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that really did kind of take the fun out of it for me. I was like, are these people getting paid?
Yeah.
No.
And they can't get paid.
No.
I'm like, damn, at least throw them a couple hundred or something,
Right.
Here's some free tickets, shit. Like,
At least free tickets. Like,
right.
Okay, last question, and then we are going to wrap this segment and move into the next one. Of all of the musical moments, the big ones, the smaller, more intimate ones, which was your favorite?
Ooh. I kind of want to say Scott and Kip's I'll Believe in Anything.
Now wake that up. Wake that up. Okay. Now wake that up and tell me why.
food. That's
Wake
his
that up because I
Look, you have a dad.
100% agree. I 10,000% agree.
the build up with that song and then the lyrics, and I think the song slowly got louder as the scene progressed, if I recall correctly.
It did.
And that whole scene was so well done. But like the build up, the tension,
Yeah.
Kip taking 30 years to make it down them steps.
Yeah,
It was a lot, but it was so
Yeah.
good.
All right.
Yeah.
It's just Tim over there. Yeah,
Yeah, I have to
my
agree. I have to agree.
I-
Absolutely. Yes.
it would be a tie between that and probably all the things she said, but I'm gonna give it to I'll Believe in Anything.
Okay.
I agree, sister. And honestly, I love a moment like that for a couple. And the only thing I could think to compare it to right now, I don't know if y'all have seen New Girl.
Mhm.
But when Nick and Jess have that big moment of, her being like, I'm still in love with him, and he's like, I'm still in love with her, like towards like I think it was the end of season 6 or season 7. I don't remember how many seasons New Girl has, but Green Light starts playing and they're like
Oh
trying to get
yes,
back to each other, and one
yeah,
of them's taking the
yeah.
elevator and the other one's climbing the stairs. Like it's just one of those iconic moments where it's
Mhm.
like you know what's going to happen, but it's still the sweetest thing in the world. Like
Yeah.
I feel like that is just one of those things. Like when you think of Heated Rivalry, you're going to think of the club scene with all the things she said playing, and you're going to think of I Believe in Anything. It was just
Mhm.
so beautifully done. Like you said, like, it started off soft and then it got louder, and he took 50 years to get on that ice.
Indeed.
I
It was
now.
sweet ass time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go on and see your
Looking
man
around like,
now.
"Me?"
Okay. I'd have been like, but hey, I'm different.
I to y'all, nobody's well, y'all might be a little surprised. I have to agree. I'm not gonna lie to you. I do love all the things she said.
As you should.
Damn.
As you should.
I do love all the things she said, but I think if we're talking about like statement song, the tie-in for I Believe in Anything was perfect. Also
Mhm.
bringing it back from a previous episode, like you played it during their episode at a meaningful time, and then also playing again with him coming down to the ice. I
Yeah,
think it's perfect. I'm not gonna lie to you.
yeah.
I would have to agree on that one. I think all the things she said was also good. And yes, do we like think of Holland when we hear the song? Is it impactful? Da 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 da. All of that and some more. But I think I believe in anything,
I think
guys.
they're taking it.
It
They
just
are.
it yeah.
They are.
Skip Nation. We all
Exactly.
have a house on Skip
Exactly.
And the
Street. We
captain of
live
that
there.
ship is over here.
Right.
Exactly.
The captain of
Skipaholic.
it.
Exactly.
No,
Come on
Skipaholic
over.
bad.
Yeah.
Skipaholic
He
bad.
owns like the mansion on Skip
Yeah.
Street. Like that's his
Yeah.
lane.
That's
I have
it.
to agree. I definitely agree. The same song, like the connection to their episode, but also the connection to what Elena said to
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mm.
Scott. Like, I just loved it. Perfect through line. Like, I feel like we've said this a million times before, what they were able to do in such a short amount of time, storytelling wise, is unlike anything we have seen from shows that have been on the air for years. Okay. The fact
Wake
that
that
you
up.
were able to make that connection, like from what was that, episode 3, all the
Mhm.
way, the fact that you were able to create that through line and other shows can't do that with whole full 10, 18, 20 episodes of
Clock
TV
it.
is insane. And I
Yeah.
loved it. I also like that it wasn't really a meaningful moment. It just caught me by surprise, that little Afro beats song when they were in that bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That
I
was a good
didn't
one.
notice it. I did not notice it the
Yeah.
first time around. But when I heard it, I was like, what is
Hey.
this?
Let's throw in a little something for the
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I need to go figure out what the name of that song is. But I thought
yeah.
that was a unique, sort of unexpected inclusion.
Mhm.
It what they saw all of us on live and they said we're gonna break something off for them right quick. We're gonna make sure they feel included.
It was real lack of melanin in the room in the scene, but I said, "Oh,
Exactly.
that song."
Right.
I think
I
that's why
said
I
they
didn't
must be
notice
in the
it.
background at the club.
We
Yeah,
we
I
we
think
hear
that's
our
why I didn't
people. We just
notice
don't
it.
see our people.
That's why I
Right.
didn't notice it the first time, because like I heard it, but I was like, I hear my people, but I don't really see them.
See
Yeah.
my
You
people.
know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a good inclusion. I was
Yeah.
working with it.
Okay.
Cool.
All right. I think that's gonna wrap our press play segment for today. Moving into the next segment of today's episode, and it is two tracks where we give a recommendation of a song that is on repeat, can't get it out of our heads, whichever you would like. I'm gonna let Tim kick it off with his
Okay.
today.
My first track that I'm going to recommend is definitely an older track, but it's one that I just can't get out of my head right now. And it is Hurt Me So Good by Jasmine Sullivan.
Mm.
I
Yeah.
love somebody who gonna hoot and holler on the track, and I feel like she was doing some of her best on this one.
She hoots and hollers bad. She hoots and hollers bad. Um, yeah, that's a good one. Do one of y'all want to go
We're
first?
doing 2 songs each, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so we're doing the first one. Okay. Okay, I'll do an older song too then first.
Okay.
On My Mind by Georgia Smith.
Mm.
Okay.
That song gives me the same feeling that Latch by Sam Smith and
Mm.
Disclosure. Like
Ooh,
it gives me, and
Yeah.
I know that's a high bar. I'm not
It
saying it's
is.
as
that's
good,
a
but
good
I'm saying it
song.
Yeah.
wakes up that same feeling. Like it has that same upbeat energy. Um, yeah, she was in her bag. I think I think it's Georgia Smith and someone else. Now that I think about it, but George on My Mind by Georgia Smith. Like that is the song I listen to. It's by Georgia. Oh, stop, stop. It's by Georgia Smith and Predator.
Okay.
Um, that's the song you put on as soon as the temperature hit, 68 degrees,
Mm.
sunny, you got your windows down, sunroof open. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
All right. Tress.
My song is from the best Ariana Grande album, which is obviously Positions Deluxe.
Wake that up.
And I don't know why this song has been stuck in my head recently, but Worst Behavior.
Yeah.
Listen,
Okay.
I
Yeah,
mean, triple platinum in my household.
for sure. For sure.
I love that. I guess since we going older, I'll go older for my track. I do have one that's been stuck in my head, and it's a newer one. But an older one is "Spend the Night" by Alexa Esperanza.
Hmm.
I don't know. I don't know a lot of people that have heard the song.
I
When I
have
tell
not.
you, you have.
It's in my playlist right now.
When I tell you, I love that song. Down,
Okay.
love it down, love it down. I need y'all to download it, add it to the list, listen to it, come back, tell me how y'all feel about it because it definitely gets played out and definitely gets played out in my house.
Text that to me so I can listen to it.
Go ahead, send us that.
Yeah, yeah.
I guess we're gonna go around again for your
Yeah.
second, Tim.
My second option is a newer song, new as in I think it just came out like 2 or 3 weeks ago. And it is called Let Me by Victoria Monet.
Mm,
Release
Love
music
her bad.
recently.
If you haven't
Oh, I'm gonna
heard
have to get
it,
to that.
I'm
very
downloading that.
very I added it to a playlist that I call Late Night Drive. Like that is
Mm,
the vibe
okay.
that it gives,
Okay.
If like I would take what you said, like 68 degrees, but it's not sunny, the sun is setting,
Okay.
windows down, that kind
Okay.
of vibe.
Okay. That's a good vibe. That's a good vibe. Um, for my newer song, I'm gonna have to give a shout out to my girl Zara Larson. Because Midnight Sun and Stateside been stuck in my head. I've been hooting and hollering in this apartment like nobody's business to Midnight Sun. And I don't know the words yet to Stateside. I also don't know the words yet to Midnight Sun, other than
What words do you know in
Sing
stateside?
'em, sister.
boots. That's my ego boost. Yes. And then she hit that yes. She ate that shit up. I'm telling you. Oh, I love her. I loved her for a minute though. But that little song, that's not even the part. Wait, no, because I know another part. Kissing my Swedish boy over FaceTime.
That's the
Who
third
knew?
part.
Now boots. That's my ego boost. Oh, I love that
That's her
shit.
little song,
It
man.
just
Yes.
scratches the itch the way she be saying it. Oh, I love me some Zara Larson. I really do.
Mm.
Press.
Oh yes, it's me. I'm gonna preface this by saying I know I'm the only one of the four of us that goes here. I know I
I
am.
know who she's about to say.
As soon as you said that.
If it's what you're about to say, I kind of go there.
You go there in a way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
let's
Yeah,
hear
like
it. Mm.
I stopped off in that town in like 2010.
Yeah, with the
yeah.
first song
Let's
that
hear it. Let's
yeah, she
hear
was
it.
coming out with.
Because it might be a real one. Go ahead.
Let's see.
She got that little life of a showgirl. I don't know nothing about that. But what I do know about is the Torture Poets Department, the album that came out before that. Her song, I'm Gonna Get You Back, it went so hard in this household. Like, triple platinum ain't even a strong enough word. That's my little song. Particularly the part where she says, even if it's handcuffed, I'm leaving here with you. Like, I just associate that with so many of my little shows. Like, that was my number one listened to song on Spotify last year, and it's gonna be going 2 years in a row. That's my little song. I don't know what it is about I'm Gonna Get You Back, but that's my song.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is
And I
a good
know y'all don't go there. I know that's okay, but I live there.
I'll give it a little listen for you, friend.
Thank you. Thank
I don't
you.
dislike her music. I would never say that I'm a Swiftie, but I have an apartment on the outskirts of Swiftie Town.
Period.
So I can see what's going on across the way, without actually being in the middle.
And she got some bangers. I ain't never seen like she ain't got some music. I wouldn't call myself a Swiftie. I was on our song Bad when it came out.
That's my little
Oh, that
screen door sneaking out.
LA tapping on your window.
Kids.
And
Me
that
and that
song
whole
turns 20 years old this year.
folklore.
really?
That
Oh, you
whole
want to tell
album.
me that? Jesus.
Wait a minute. Folklore, 0 skips. That is her
I'm
best
telling
album.
you, like when I think about her, that is where I go to. That is the one for me.
Like Invisible String.
Yes, the one August. She was in. She was in.
That's the album. I'm like, wait. I'm hearing my stuff.
She was in over there.
When I think Taylor Swift, I think because that one song went triple platinum for me in 8th grade. I knew you were trouble when you walked in.
Yeah.
Shame on me now.
Yeah. And that song she wrote about Harry Styles.
Well, she wrote I Knew You Were Trouble about him too, but Style as well.
Yeah,
her
I like that one.
Her collaboration with Zayn for 50 Shades. Come on now.
Wondering if I dodged a bullet or just lost the love of my life.
It was good.
That 50 Shades of Grey soundtrack. You want to talk about a soundtrack? 50 Shades of Grey, all 3 of them movies hit. Once they got Beyonce, I said, "Oh,
every single one.
Every single one.
They did.
Oh, that little song. What is it? Rita, Ora, and Liam. Oh,
yeah.
I wear that out.
R.I.P. Liam Payne, gone too soon.
He ain't had no business getting up out of here.
It still hurt my chest, but that's a good soundtrack though. 50 Shades. That's a soundtrack like that one needs to be studied for other movies for real.
Amen.
Did in fact have a couple of them. Immediately add them to the playlist. My last one, y'all know, I'm not gonna say that on this podcast. I'll tell y'all later. Anyways, it's a newer one.
I wonder what you
I'm taking a note right here so we remember to go back to this.
It's a newer song by Sasha Keeble. I'll be up over there. I like her music. It's called Can't Stop.
I love her.
It's called what?
Can't Stop. She do a little run in there on the chorus. Oh, I'd be on that bad. And she's singing about being a little toxic, going back and forth. Yeah, it's a good song. Mind you, it's a good album. It's Act 2, and it came out this year. But specifically that song, I think the one that everybody's been listening to off of it though is like Tell Me What You Want, because that's been doing rounds on TikTok.
Okay.
Album's good too, but I was on Can't Stop.
Okay.
I'm gonna add that to my playlist because I love her song with Black, Take Your Time.
Yes.
That's my little song. Oh, I love that song.
She also has a song with Leon Thomas, Move It Along.
Ooh, I need that on my playlist. I love Leon Thomas. I'm fixing to see him and Bruno Mars in May.
Ooh.
Are they on tour together?
Yeah. I don't know if Leon's at every stop, but they'll be in Nashville.
Okay. Oh, that's a great opener.
And I was like, the tickets were higher than a kite, but I said, you know what? I love Bruno. I love Leon. I'm gonna just go ahead. That'll be my first solo concert, which is like kind of crazy, but I'm excited.
And you only live once. Do it.
Right. I saw Usher solo, and that was easily one of my favorite concerts I've ever been to. He put on such a good show.
You said Usher?
Yeah.
I love Usher.
It was his first show for his last tour. Oh, we was cutting up when he played what's it called? What's that song he did with Will? Oh my God. Hey. Everybody Everybody got up.
Yeah.
I said, baby, let me
The skating rinks wore that one down bad.
Yeah.
Okay? They
Man.
tore that one out the frame.
And then
And it was well deserved because it was a great
Yeah.
song.
Amen.
All right, that's gonna wrap two take or not takes. Jesus, that's gonna wrap two tracks. We're gonna move into our last segment for this episode, and that is the reaction thread, where we take some pop culture or
ooh,
moment and we talk about it, discuss it. We are not aware of what the topic is for today. Tim has it, so I'm gonna let him
all
let us
right.
know what it's gonna
Yeah.
be.
And actually, we're gonna do something a little different than we have in the past.
Oh,
We're talking about one topic, but we're talking about 5 unique things that have happened over the last few weeks that all lead to this one topic.
okay.
So I'll list them, and after I list them, I'm sure we'll know exactly where this is going.
Okay.
All right.
Francois and Hudson's statement about the
Jesus.
toxic heated rivalry fandom.
Okay.
The 911 fandom response to May Ravi and the slight lack of Buddy Cannon over the last few episodes.
Okay.
Rihanna's house getting fired at while her kids and her family were inside.
Mm.
Chapel Roan's response to the paparazzi.
Yeah.
And the AI generated photos of Tom Holland and Zendaya's wedding. What do all of these things have in common at the center of them?
Batshit crazy.
Socialism.
Toxic fandoms,
Toxic fandom.
toxic fandom communities, and parasocialism at
Yeah.
its absolute fucking worst.
Wait, before we get started, could somebody enlighten me about the Chaperone situation? I'm not knowing about
Yeah,
that.
so she has a kind of history of, not being the biggest fan of like paparazzi and people that are like photographing her and stuff like that. I think it was a few
Yeah.
years ago she was at an award show, and they were doing the red carpet thing, and I think people were like yelling at her and like trying to get her attention, and she yelled back at them like, don't fucking talk to me like that, that kind of thing. Recently, I think either earlier this week or sometime last week, she was
Yeah.
out, and the paparazzi were doing their thing, like trying to take her picture or whatever, and she basically took out her phone and like started recording them and was like, see how it feels, like get out of my face, leave me alone.
Oh,
And it has a sort of mixed response. Some people feel like, when you're a celebrity, that's the price of that, right? Like your sort of privacy when you go out in public and stuff like that. Some people, I even saw today, I think Boy George, what's his name, like said something to the effect of like, girl, the world is at your feet. Like, stop kicking it.
I saw that.
Like basically saying like, you're a celebrity, you're famous, like you need to start acting like it, start being grateful for this attention and this stage that you have. And instead you're spitting on it, throwing it back in their face. Where some people are on the other side where they feel like, just because she has some songs that everybody likes, like she's still entitled to her life and her privacy or as much as she can, right?
Yeah.
So, but at the center of all of it is toxic fandoms and
Yeah.
fan communities.
yeah.
My reaction is I think it's them damn phones. I think because we are on our phones, that's not to say people weren't obsessed with celebrities, 30 years ago, but I think social media has given people unprecedented access to celebrities. I mean, that was the whole appeal of Twitter when it first came out. You could tweet Justin Bieber and directly and he'll see it and could maybe respond. So that was the whole appeal for certain platforms when they first came out anyway. But I think having that direct line of communication between fans and celebrities to fans makes one, people feel entitled to know information and entitled to, I guess there's like an assumption kind of like how, oh, if one of your friends has a loved one who like passes away and they post on Instagram saying, RIP to this person, you don't dissect their message, you don't dissect their Instagram post or anything, but people do that with celebrities. And I think it's just I really think it's just the damn phones. They made people feel too connected and in turn too entitled. And some people are just not well in the head. Like, I don't want to say it's a mental illness because, like, I'm not a healthcare professional and I don't even know what that illness would be. But they're just not well. Like, and I think the level of access we have to celebrities because of phones and social media just amplifies that.
I think I agree. 100%. It's them damn phones. Somebody need to, some of them need to have no access, limited access, or like it's created a very toxic environment, and that it also extends not just from celebrities, but just like normal other people that are in the within the
Mhm.
fandoms as well. Because I think each one of us have experienced like very toxic things when it comes to interacting with people within these fandoms. Um,
Girl.
like I think each of us, some of us more than others,
Girl.
have been, have experienced like far worse things. But I do think that like it did start with them having access on the phone. People see your face, people see the celebrities, they can talk to them or feel like, they have this link to them and now they feel like they're supposed to have it all the time. Or it creates this idea that like, oh, I know them. Like they're my we be joking saying they're my close personal friends. Now people actually genuinely think that like those are their close personal friends and that they can talk to them anyway, or can expect things from them, and it's a real problem. It's a real problem. Um, Everybody just need to be offline for a little bit. They need to go touch the grass, eat it, roll in it.
I also think it's some people's only source of happiness. Like
Yeah.
just looking at new pictures of their favorite celebrity or a new song or a new interview. That's like their only slice of joy in life. And I'm not even saying that as like in a derogatory way. Like life sucks for a lot of people. So when you can find that piece of joy in a fictional character or a celebrity or a song, a movie, whatever, you tend to latch on to it. And I think that's where most fandom, derives from. People find happiness in something and they latch on to it. But it becomes a problem when that's the only thing you find happiness in, because then you kind of get it's like a drug almost. Like you need another hit. So let's figure out their blood types. Let's hack into
Mhm.
Heathrow Airport. I'm so sorry to the directioners. I'm dragging them right now, but
Girl
I
bad.
can do that because I go there. But it's just, yeah.
Mhm. You brought up the social media piece and how that like creates this sometimes false feeling of connection. Do you feel like it does or should work both ways? Like specifically for the Hudson and Francois situation with the statement, like I feel like the people that actually need to receive that message don't.
Yeah.
And like I think about like Beyonce, like her there it took one time for her to come on here and be like, hey, y'all need to calm down. And they said, actually, you should shut the fuck up. And that was it. So and I feel like,
And
you
she never
know,
talked to us again.
and she never spoke to us again, right? So it's like it, I don't know. Like it's this weird place to be in because the statement was valid. It was a good statement, but I feel like the people who really needed to hear it and digest it and eat it and live it and roll in it didn't really care. I feel like it kind of
Yeah.
fell on deaf ears.
I think
Oh, it sure deleted. Like literally immediately, people were like, "Oh, well, why were they lumping all these things together?" And da 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 da. Like
Yeah.
it was all the people who needed to receive it that were like, "Nah."
Right.
I think
Yeah.
they also live in a state of delusion. Like if I
Yeah.
think that like I have this or I'm living in this bubble or whatever, I obviously don't think that statement was for me. I'm not the one doing
Right.
that. Like, I think the delusion goes that far. And not to say that like it's because I think we all need a little delusion to survive this day and age. Get it, got it, granted. But I think there is a line, and I think a lot of the people within the fandom cross that line a
Yeah.
hundred times over. Um,
Or do.
And sometimes it crosses like an extremely like that Rihanna situation. That
Yeah,
was
that's
insane.
scary.
I was genuinely terrified when I saw that, and I will always, always, always remember Christina Grimmie. I
Mm-hmm.
will never ever
Oh
forget
my
that story.
lord,
I was
yeah.
so like that was probably one of my first like true remembrances of like celebrity heartbreak when I heard that she had died. Like I've been following her for years. I watched her on The Voice. Like I was obsessed with her. Like, and I always think about that like when stuff like this happens because like it just feels like it was such a avoidable thing. Like the fact that, he was able to get literally right in her face and
Mhm.
like, shoot her in front of all those people. Like it's truly insane. Like, fans are the lifeblood of anything, right? But like it can just go to this insane level, and sometimes you never even know the obsessive level that it can reach until something insane like this happens where they're outside of your house where your kids and your family are firing and it was like a machine gun. Like this wasn't
Yeah.
like no little handgun that this girl had. Like this was insane. Like you just never know.
I wanna get on my soapbox so bad, but Imma let y'all go ahead and y'all get y'all thoughts out because I have a lot to say about all of these topics.
I feel like when it comes to like, I'm speaking specifically to like Francois and Hudson, I think in their case specifically, just in Heated Rivalry as a whole, not those two specifically, but just for that fandom and any new fandom, I do think it is up to the actors, musicians, or whoever the teams to put out a statement quickly. Like, I think because it obviously it don't take that much work. I mean, that statement was what, 3 sentences? Like it's not a lot of work. And they have whole teams of people. I think it could go a long way to just make a statement from the jump.
Mhm,
And especially a show like Heated Rivalry, where literally part of Shane's whole journey is the fact that he is half Asian. Like that's part of what make like the struggles he goes through as a half Asian man in this very white and racist league is part like that's a part of the storyline. So I think, granted, that doesn't excuse just because they didn't make a statement doesn't mean people should, be saying slurs and shit like that. But I do think there's a hesitation with a lot of the I don't know the word, the celebrities, I guess, the teams and celebrities to make a statement quickly, just trying to nip it in the butt. Like there's no effort to do that. They wait until it gets really bad. And I'm like, well, that's not to say I don't think making a statement would stop it, but it's more just you kind of let it go on. You know what I mean? And I'm sure they're not on the internet as much as we are. They don't see everything we see. But come on, you like, let's not be naive. It's 2026.
Right.
Look at the world we're living in. You don't think your only POC main cast member is experiencing really? You don't think that's happening? So, I mean, Hudson even said his mom worried about the fact that him being half Asian would stop him from getting roles. So I'm like, this isn't a secret that he's had to deal with it. You know what I mean? Throughout his life. So I'm like, why wouldn't that be the first thing you do? You had no problem protecting their sexualities and their privacy around that. Why wouldn't you feel the same need to protect them from racism and just make a little statement? We saw the cast of The Little Mermaid do it. We saw the cast of Percy Jackson do it. We saw what's his name from The Flash do it. So I'm like, it is possible, but I think there's always a hesitance to protect from racism. Um, and that honestly just allows fans to kind of go wild. Um, and I say allows loosely because crazy people are going to do what crazy people want to do. But I do think there is some responsibility that falls on like protecting your artist in a way.
I definitely agree with that because I feel like that it's something should have been said far sooner from um not the cast, but just the in
Right.
general.
It
You
could have
guys,
came from Crave. It could have came from HBO. It could have came from Jacob. It could have came from Rachel. You
it
know?
could,
Yeah.
uh, but I do think that it took far too long for anybody to say anything about the racism in particular because we did see like a fierce protection about them and everyone wanted to dig into their sexualities. And then when we saw all of the things that people were saying and continue to say about Hudson online, there was silence. There was quick crickets. Uh,
Right.
so yeah,
Yeah. I think, oh, can I say something about the chapel? Chapel? I was
Chapel.
going to say
Yeah,
Chappelle.
all of them
Chapel.
are open
Okay.
for discussion.
The Chapel Rowan thing, she's annoying. Like at first, when she started screaming at proper paparazzi, I was like, well, yes, yeah, because they shouldn't be yelling at you like that. I get that. And I was with it. But the last one of her getting her phone out and recording the paparazzi,
Mhm.
I'm like, Zendaya and Tom Holland were able to get engaged, and that's two celebrities in a relationship, two global celebrities in a relationship, and no one knew what the hell was going on. Beyonce been moving all around the world. We don't know where the hell she at. Kylie Jenner, even though we all knew she was pregnant, it was a secret for a while.
Yeah.
Like we all suspected it, but we had no evidence of it. So it is possible to do things in private. It's possible to not be seen by the paparazzi. Look at Zayn Malik. You know what I mean? Like it is possible. There's plenty of examples. So I'm like, if you're gonna take your ass out to a restaurant that paparazzi frequent, or you're going out with a bunch of other celebrities that paparazzi follow, and you're gonna get mad if there's paparazzi there, like also someone made the point that when you're yelling at paparazzi who are at events, like these aren't just guys off the street, these are selected photographers for this event you're yelling at. Granted, they shouldn't be yelling. So she was right to say, hey, you don't need to yell at me like that. Like that, I get. But I think it just gets to the point where it just feels almost performative. Like this is just, oh, this is just my shtick now. So I have to keep doing it. And it's like, well, actually, you don't. You could just not be seen because it is possible. If Beyonce can stay hidden, anybody can stay hidden. I'm sorry that, and I'm trying to figure out how to say this in a way that doesn't sound rude, but she's not that big. You know what I mean? Like she's a big artist with great music. She blew up over the past like 2 years. Oh my
Mhm.
God. But she's not that big. You know what I mean? Like I can understand how alarming and shocking it is to have your life like blown up like that and having I can't even imagine having people follow you around with cameras. That must be irritating and stressful and anxiety inducing. But I'm like, you're not that big where you can't change how often you're in the public. You know what I mean? And even if she did change it after being like huge, but again, that's I'm not trying to diminish her success because she's been very successful, won Grammys, like
Yeah.
very successful and blew up in a short amount of time. So I understand
Similar
that
similar to Connor Hudson, really.
right,
Almost
very
basically overnight for her too.
right. And I just think it's turning into like this performative little thing with her. And I'm like, the first few times I was for it. After that, I'm like, okay, you're purposely going around paparazzi and then mad when paparazzi are doing what paparazzi are doing. It's not like they're at her house, they're at a restaurant. Like it don't make no sense to me.
I'm not gonna lie, the video was quite funny to me. I'm sorry. I know that she like didn't like it, but it was the way that she pulled out the phone and was recording. And it was like, see, da, da. I was like, oh,
Right. It
I'm
gave
not
like
supposed to find this funny, but I kind of do.
it didn't give celebrity to me. It honestly reminded me of like some high school shit. Like it truly gave me the ick. Like, oh, what if I record you? Da, da, da. I'm like, or you could just get in your fucking car. Like, what are we doing? Because someone made the point, like, well, if you just would have gotten your car, those photos, it would have been over in 10 seconds. But you deciding to stop and record, now there's actually an event around it. Like it's something to talk about. But again, I'm not in her position, but I'm just like, I would simply just get in the car.
Yeah. Do you
I,
think that's like, and then Tress, we are coming back to this soapbox,
Yeah.
each and
yeah.
every thought that you're having. Do you think that that's because of social media and parasocialism? Because I feel like the artists of our generation and before, that wasn't really something they had to deal with. Like early Destiny's Child, I don't think they really had to deal with, the social media. And now people were
Yeah.
still finding a way to shit
Hmm.
on them, tear them down, whatever. But like now we live in an era where social media can blow you up overnight. You have one really good hit, and all of a sudden, your life is completely different when you wake up the next day. Like I wonder if that has something to do with how she experiences fame. and
Yeah.
the things that like a lot of the artists of our generation and before fought through and just sort of made it work. Like I wonder if she sees that differently because
Yeah.
of the era that she's in.
I could see that because she's how old is Chaperone? She's got to be like 25,
Mhm.
26.
Yeah.
Like she's in the generation because she's Gen Z, but she's specifically in the generation that saw Justin Bieber, saw One Direction, saw Demi Lovato, Miley Cyrus, that specific generation of pop stars be hounded by the paparazzi and social media. So yeah, that's probably a good point. Like I'm sure it does warp your perception of fame a little bit, especially when you get into fame. Like, because really anyone who got famous after that, after the 2010s, they they all saw the 2010 celebrities what they went through, you know? On top of that, Britney was like the extreme case of her generation. And she had people in her circle who were just betraying her trust every which way. But that probably does change her perception of it and just probably how she reacts. Um, but it also makes me think, you know, damn well things on social media blow up the bigger of an issue you make it.
Yeah. I'm curious, literally last question, and then we're coming to you, Tress. Um, whose job is it to like be on top of social media stuff like that? Because specifically for the Rihanna thing, this
Yeah.
fan had been tweeting at
Mhm.
her for years,
Yeah.
tweeting her, atting her, like saying all kinds of stuff.
Mhm.
Probably literally wrote out like, "Oh, I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna blah blah
She
blah."
said it on a Facebook video that she
Yeah,
wanted to kill her.
yeah. So
Yeah.
like, whose responsibility is that to be
Yeah.
on top? Is it the artist's publicist? Like, is it the social media channels? Like, whose job is that to be on top of stuff like that?
I feel like it's also determining what's a real threat too.
Mm,
Because people probably say I'm going to kill you all the time. I mean, one of my jobs, won't name the employer, but one of my jobs, there was someone tweeting that they were going to light the building on fire multiple times. And I told the proper people, the security, they didn't do shit about it. And I was like, well, let's hope they don't light this goddamn building on fire. But we didn't even have any actual issues. So I feel like part of it, when you reach, especially Rihanna's level of fame, I can only imagine how many like death threats she gets all the time. Like, how do you determine what's real and what's just someone being crazy? And well, I mean, all of it's crazy, but how do you determine what's actually going to turn into a threat? I feel like it's probably similar to like politicians almost, like who I'm probably not as in depth because they're probably not sending the police to people who tweet, I'm going to kill Rihanna. But yeah, I do think a lot of celebrities aren't on top of it with their social, like on in the social listening sense. They're not aware of what's going on with their clients at all. Like, totally unrelated, but 21 Pilots, their song Drag Path,
mhm.
they released it weeks after it was going viral, right? They released a different version, but someone I saw a video of someone saying that they had no idea the song was viral. They had no idea for weeks, and then they released it once they found out. And I'm like, they're a pretty big band.
Right.
You mean to tell me they don't have anyone paying attention to what's being said about them on social? Like, no one flagged that? That's insane to me. I don't listen to that band, and I knew about that song.
Yeah.
And I'm like, to me, that really showed like people. I mean, we could talk about how much professionals underestimate the power of social media and the importance of it all day long. But social listening is such a crucial part of social media management that people do not pay attention to. But you need to pay attention to what the conversation is online about your client, about your project, because that really will shape what the tone is of a fandom. And I know people don't want to pay attention to fandoms. They think it's just crazy fangirls, da 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 da, wooty woo. But the reality is sometimes it can be as crazy as what Rihanna just went through, or it can be a missed opportunity like 21 Pilots and Drag Path. Um, and when you don't pay attention to that stuff, it's a lot of possible dangerous situation and missed opportunities.
All right, Tress.
Yes.
What are we
Go
thinking?
off, sis.
So I took my little notes so I would remember what to say. That's why I had my little iPad. But I think with the Chaperone situation, y'all already clocked it. Like, there's a way to be famous and not be visible. Like, I think about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce just because of how famous Taylor is. We know they got engaged because she posted about it. I
Mhm.
figure they were probably engaged for weeks before she probably posted those pictures, but like, that's how we know about it. Or, like, the Zendaya and Tom Holland wedding. Like, yeah, LaRoche said what he said, but it's like, they could have been married for 6 months. We don't know when people's wedding was, and we never will know. Like, there is a way to be famous without being visible, or like Adele. Who's seen Adele in the past year?
Ugh.
Where is she at? Nobody knows. And Adele is one of the biggest artists in the world.
Yeah.
Where is she? Like, I think that's like a big thing. I also think when it comes to parasocialism and fandom spaces, I saw the most amazing TikTok and I sent it to y'all. And it was saying that there are so many parasocial fans that are so much closer to this lady that showed up to Rihanna's house and they think they just don't have a weapon or they may not be there yet. But it's like you don't know how serious a threat is against your life. So when I stepped away from that fandom, there were so many people that called me dramatic for that. And maybe I was. But I did not know how crazy these people are because I don't know these people. I'm getting death threats through, not gonna lie, an anonymous service or through a Twitter account with 0 followers. I don't know who's behind this screen. I don't know who this is. This could be somebody who, is just playing, or this could be somebody who actually like has my address. Like, I
Mhm.
did not know and I was not gonna find out. So I said, if you want me gone that bad, I value my life. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's kind of like a thing because parasocialism, it is a sickness. It is an absolute sickness when it gets to that place. I think we're all a little parasocial, right? But like, I think there's a difference between us calling Jacob Tierney our close personal friend and saying we're going to the barbecue with him than people that are actually like thinking they know Jacob or thinking they know Hudson or Connor or anybody like that. I think that that's all just crazy. And then also, finally, just when it comes to making statements, I think when it comes to racism, a lot of people just straight up don't care. When it comes to sexism, a lot of people straight up don't care. And every time I think about, I mean, obviously, the majority, all the main characters in Heated Rivalry are men, but like, when it comes to the sexism, the girls were facing a lot of sexism. Nobody said anything about that. And I always go back to Marvel. Like, the only person who had Brie Larson's back when she was going through all that sexism she faced from the Marvel Bros was Chadwick Boseman. May he rest in peace. Everybody else left her out to high and dry. But when it came to the who is the best Chris thing, and Chris Pratt was constantly at the bottom of the list, everybody was like, how dare you say that about him? He's a Christian. He's a father. He's a good man. Like, how dare you say this? But Brie Larson was literally having people call her everything but a child of God. And they were just kind of like, damn, that's crazy. And I really have a respect for Robert Downey Jr. because I think he realized he was wrong as hell. So when that girl, I don't know the actress's name, but Ironheart, Riri, he
Mhm.
had her back. He
Yeah.
said, y'all bet not fix y'all lips to say anything about this little girl. And I really think people just straight up don't care. And I think we're living in a time and an administration in America at least where racism is being rewarded. Racism is seen as a good thing. Like, people just do not care to protect people from these things. And I think it absolutely is up to the people at charge. Like, I think that it's crazy that Crave hasn't said anything. I think it's crazy that HBO Max is never going to say anything. Like, y'all are allowing these things to go on because I know you see it. They always see it, And I think that that's so insane. And when you let it get to a certain point, now it's not going to like really sink in for any of these people that are doing these things because they don't see themselves as the problem. Like, I see so many people who ship Connor and Hudson being like, oh, well, Francois a weirdo, so I don't care what he said. Hudson don't like you, baby. He's not gonna pick you. Like, if he met you in real life and saw that Twitter, he would actually call the law on you. Like, he don't want you. But they really think that they are defending this person and doing this thing for this person. And I'm like, you don't know Dada. You're never gonna know Dada. So I don't know. I just think it's all just it's truly psychosis. And I hate to put that on people because I'm also not a mental health professional. But that's what it is. I think you can get so lost in these fandom communities and everything starts to feel really personal when it's not, Like, am I making sense? Like, it's just so
Yeah, that
easy
makes
to get
perfect
that deep. Mm.
That makes perfect sense. I think, like you said, everything can feel personal. I think it goes back to people not having a life. Like,
Yeah.
and I don't even mean that in like a attacking sort of way, but like life really sucks for a lot of people. People
It
can't
does.
find work, people are broke, people got bills, people, there's people are struggling all throughout the country, right? And just because you're in a fandom doesn't mean you're not struggling. So people are finding their slice of joy in some way, shape they can. And if you find it in fandom, inherently that's good, right? You're doing it in a way that doesn't harm people. Like ideally, you're doing it in a way that doesn't harm people. But I think when you add in that it's the only thing you have going for you, yeah, it's just people take it personally. If two actors are seen together, but it's not the two actors you want seen together, it's like a personal attack. And I'm like, they could just be friends. Or even if they are dating, everybody grown. Who gives a fuck? And they may not even be dating. What if they just fucked one time? Like honestly, we will never know what the hell's going on in their lives. And it's really not that deep.
It's not meant for us to know
Really
neither.
not. And we don't need to know. And like
We
some of these
don't.
allegations are harmful. Like calling Francois a P word is insane when everybody in that situation is grown. Like that is just such a strong word against like to use against another human. Like that makes me nervous. And then I also think too with parasocialism, I've never cared about who dated who, but I know when I used to go to that one show, I started watching that show when I was living in the middle of nowhere in Missouri in grad school. And I didn't really have a lot going on because I lived in the middle of nowhere. And so even though them killing off Bobby Nash is the worst thing I've ever seen on a TV program, any like ever, and I mean that, that was not a personal attack against me, but it felt like it because I was
Yeah.
that deep in the show. So even though I don't care about them men and what they do in their free time, I really couldn't care less. Like, why did that feel like it was a personal attack against me? Why did it feel like Tim Minear was like, oh, she likes Bobby, I'm killing it? It wasn't even like that. He don't even know who I am.
You
But
might.
I got that deep into like, and I just want to say that because it's so easy to slip into that. And it's so easy to get into this cult mentality. And it's just like, everybody needs to get off that damn phone and touch grass. Cause like y'all both said, Alex and Tay, it really is that damn phone. Like it's that damn phone.
Wake that up, Tress. It really is easy to slip into a parasocial like relationship with people. And I'm gonna be so honest, at my big age of 28, that's the main reason why I don't pay attention to Connor and Hudson. Because I know myself. And granted, do I think I would be like as deep in it as I was with like One Direction? No. But at the same time, I'm like, I know myself. I'll get hooked on like I remember how it was with Chris Evans. And I still am down for
Bad.
that man. Bad. But I'm like if anyone who knew me in college knew I did not play about Chris Evans. Like
At all.
and you know what? One probably should feel embarrassed for the amount of tweets I sent to that man, but I'm not, and I'm gonna stand on it. I don't care that I was photoshopping pictures of us together. I don't care. I'm gonna stand on it. Like I meant that shit. But I'm like, it gets to a point where even though my behavior was not harmful to him, I was never tweeting him anything inappropriate. I was never, sending him like explicit fan art. I wasn't attacking his family. I wasn't doing any of that. I was just like, you fine as fuck. That's it. Like, just a little
Hey.
compliment. But I'm like, I also know once I think we all have that like, I don't know what else to call it other than like a fandom itch where when you watch something new, you discover a new artist, a new actor, whatever, you get that itch and they're the only ones able to scratch it. It wakes up something in you in your brain. I don't know what part of the brain is waking up. But actually I do know the part of the brain. I don't know the name of it, but they talked about it in the One Direction This Is Us movie. They had scientists
Period.
and
I
they're
did
like,
see that movie, yeah.
yeah, they had a scientist was like when fangirls, but even though it was like a very joking segment, they actually showed like what that part of the brain is that lights up. And when that part of the brain lights up, for me personally, I don't know how to light things a normal amount. I don't. So
I
I'm
don't
like,
either.
I don't need to really tune into Connor and Hudson because I know for a fact it will light that part of my brain up. I don't need it lit up for real people. I can have it lit up for fictional people, but real people, I'm like, Alex, shut it down. Shut it down.
Turn it off,
Yeah,
turn it
just turn it off,
off.
turn it off, turn it off. Like I think you have to have a level of being self-aware to make sure you don't slip down that path because it really is easy to. I mean, Heated Rivalry took us all by surprise.
It was a sleeper agent.
None of us were counting down the days for that show to premiere. None of us. Like we were just like, yeah, I guess we'll turn it on, Like, but once we saw it, we were hooked.
Yeah.
And it's so easy to feel that way about once you have that in you, it's so easy to feel that way about something. Not everyone's built that way. I'll say it's not for everyone, but some people feel it for sports. Some people feel it for actors, singers, shows, movies, whatever. And you have to be self-aware enough to know, hey, let me sit my ass down somewhere, actually let me calm down. I am in fact an adult and I don't need to be doing this. And this is coming from someone who has never sent anything harmful or hateful towards a celebrity. Like, well, I mean, I did just say that about Selena Gomez earlier, but I would say that to her. So I always say I wouldn't say nothing that I wouldn't say to someone's face. And I would say that to her. But I think you have to be aware of like how you react to things. You just have to be aware of yourself. And I think there's a lot, like y'all said, delusion. People aren't they have no self-awareness. And it shows, especially with like that May Robbie thing. Oh, it's
That was
het
my last point.
slop. It's slop. Like, actually, it's a Black woman and a brown man in a relationship. And I can't remember the last time I seen that on television, if
Right.
ever. And
And wake
they're
that
both
up.
hot.
Yeah.
And they're both hot. And that was my literal last point, and I promise I'll get off my soapbox. But I think just one very quickly, like fandom is not always dangerous to the celebrity. Sometimes it's dangerous to you because I joke all the time of like, oh, I laid Tim Minear out. I never called him out of his name. I never said anything crazy, but it's like, once again, why did I feel that strongly about that plot line? And it was because I let myself get that attached to that show. So now, even with Heated Rivalry or High Potential or The Rookie, like there is a level of distance that I have from those fandoms. I don't even consider myself a part of those fan communities and the shows. Like I have to limit my Heated Rivalry exposure because I'm like I can't be deep into this shit the way I was with that other program. But with the May Ravi thing, it is so rare to see an interracial couple without a white person in it. So to have that be reduced to het slop, I'm like, just say you hate people of color and go. It's actually much simpler than coming up with these crazy names and whatever. Because at the end of the day, when it comes to Buddy, there's other couples on the show. It's actually called 911. It's not called Buddy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it can't just be about those two men all of the time. I think it's very telling how these people feel about people of color based on the way that they are reacting to May Robbie. Nobody owes you a plot line on a story show just because you want it. Even with May Robbie, I wanted it. They didn't owe me that. I got it. But I mean, like people
So
just
one,
need to cut grass.
Right.
Like, I won. I'm actually
right,
never wrong. I'm just early, but they
right.
didn't owe me that. If they never gave us May Robbie, okay, because at the end of the day, the show's not about Tress and Camille or Alex or Tim or Tay. It's about the show, and it's not about the buddy shippers. It's not about them two men. It ain't about, Tweedledee and Tweedledum as hell. It's about 911. It's about first responders in LA. So anyway,
Dumb as
the
hell.
last point.
Oh my God, this fucking
Tweedledum and Tweedledum as hell. That's what I consider those boys. I love them so much, but
That
mm.
it is so easy to slip into that parasocialism, and sometimes it'll have you by the throat before you even know it.
yeah.
Like, and I feel like
That's on you.
One day.
that self-awareness piece is truly what's missing from, I think, a lot of the fans, like, because it will swallow you up before you even know. I want to ask a question about the May Robbie thing. I don't know if I'm not deep on Twitter anymore, so I don't know exactly if or how the response to May Ravi has impacted Corinne and Anirudh at all. But we've had the conversation about showrunners, writers, actors, level of involvement and engagement in the fandom. Is that their responsibility to get involved when things like that happens? So like if people are being blatantly racist to Corinne and Anirudh or like Connor and Hudson or whoever, like is that the responsibility of the showrunner to then get involved in the fandom and speak up and say something or you know interject in some way to protect their actors?
I
That's a
want
good
to say yes, but at the same time, thinking of the 911 fandom, I fear they're too far gone. I
yeah,
do.
it's way too late.
Um,
Yeah.
I don't think a statement would hurt. I don't think, but I also think we're how many years into the show? How many seasons? How many people have accused Eddie Diaz of being abusive? How many people have talked shit about Hen, Chimney? Like there's too many characters have experienced racism where if they said something now, it would be like,
Performance.
so just fuck all them other people. Like it's even Harry. Like I think the only person who probably hasn't is Athena,
Yeah.
and that's because that's Angela Bassett.
Right.
But again, I don't think it would ever hurt a situation. It would just be like, why now? And considering they're not even, I also don't think when it comes to 911, they don't even like Robbie. Like they haven't made him a main. They barely gave him a backstory. Any sort of like I would genuinely be surprised. But maybe they would because Corinne's one of the youngest people in the cast, her and Elijah. But I don't think it would hurt. I think we're so far gone now. But again, I don't think it would ever hurt if they came out with the statement, but it would be, I think everyone would kind of side eye it like, now y'all care?
Yeah.
This, how many? Now y'all hired, what's his name? Ugly, Tommy Kennard. I couldn't think of his
He's
name.
crazy.
But
Ugly is wild as
he had
hell.
so many racist posts up on his Instagram, pictures of women's asses that he like, just a hot ass mess. And they kept bringing him back. So I'm like, you can't act like you care about protecting your cast from racism, from homophobia, from misogyny when you're hiring and keeping a bigot employed. You know what I mean? So it would be kind of counterproductive in a way. Like, oh yeah, fans don't be racist, but we are gonna hire this guy who, has talked shit about multiple groups of people and just keep him employed. Um, yeah, it would be kind of dumb. But I think in Connor and Hudson's case, they just popped out. It's
Yeah.
like they just popped out. And I think even with 911, it never hurts, but I think with them, especially because they reach such a massive level of fame, like they're more famous than the author, the creators of the show. I never even heard of Crave Canada before this show came out.
Never.
So they are the two biggest things to come from this show.
Yeah.
And I think only protecting their sexualities, and honestly, it would just be Hudson who would need to be protected from this, or maybe Ksenia, if I'm saying her name right.
Mhm.
But I think it's doing them a disservice. And honestly, it's doing their fans a disservice too, because it's not just white people who are fans of this show.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think I agree, especially when it comes to the 911 community. I'm gonna go ahead and say it because can't nobody come beat my behind. When you have an actor on that show who has been openly anti-black and y'all ain't have nothing to say about it, knowing half your cast is black women, to at this point come forward to protect a black woman, what are we
Right.
doing? Like, I mean, at that point, like you played so bad, And I said this to Alex, like, just a private conversation between us when Corinne and Elijah started their little podcast. I was very worried about what would happen to them because the way people speak about Harry Grant is so rooted in racism. It actually like genuinely like physically makes me mad. And then also the way people are speaking on May Robbie, I was like, I'm so worried about them because they are so young and this is their first big project. And also too, I think with 911, because the cast is so diverse, the only people who could really speak on it would be Jennifer Love Hewitt and Oliver Stark, and they ain't gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else is a person of color, so it's just kind of like it's not gonna have the same
Right.
impact. I mean, Angela Bassett could come on here and drag y'all, but she not gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just not
Yeah.
who she is.
We'd
They're
So
love
different.
if she did. We'd love
Right.
if
oh,
she
I
did,
would
but I know
repost it
she's not.
immediately, but she not
Yeah.
gonna do it. And then Tim Minear, anyway, I don't need to speak on that man, but I just don't know who the messenger would be. And then, as Alex said, it's been almost 10 years. Like, it's way, 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 way too late to kind of regulate that. So I'm glad that the Heated Rivalry cast did it as early as they did. I do think they should have spoken up for Hudson a lot sooner,
Yeah.
but at least they did it within the calendar year. I guess that's good.
And I'm gonna be honest, I think, yeah, I'm gonna say it. I think they I think lumping in everything else, because what did they talk about? They talked about racism. What didn't they mention transphobia? Uh,
No, I
no, I
don't
don't.
think they did. Maybe
Um,
they did. I feel like there was a trans actor
I
that
think
said,
they
"What
did.
about
yeah.
transphobia?"
Yeah.
Let me find the statement real
But
quick.
maybe I'm wrong.
Um,
I was just more so looking at all the fans pointing fingers at each other, and I said, "Wait a minute, I'm gonna help y'all out." It's actually all y'all.
right. It's the Spider-Man meme. Everyone.
It
Right.
is, hold on, I'll read it to you. Don't call yourself a fan if you share racist, homophobic, biphobic, misogynistic, ageist, ableist comments of any kind. None of us need your hateful love. We all respect and support and love each other and are on the same side. If you can't accept that, get the fuck out of here.
That part. I think
Wake that up, folks. Like, come on.
One, I know this is going to sound hypocritical because I was just saying this should make a statement. This is not a good statement. I'm trying to figure out how to say this without saying like, oh, well, you can never be pleased by what celebrities do. They made us, you know what I mean? Like, because it's more just, I don't even know how to like accurately word what I'm trying to say. I think, first of all, the ageist comment, because they be calling Francois old, is that because he the only person, like,
I think that, and because they call him a I don't know if say this word,
oh, okay, okay,
word
okay,
for
yeah,
being
yeah,
a
yeah.
connor.
Like, yeah, I think it's a good statement for actors to make. But again, I don't think it should be on the actors to protect themselves. I think that's what it is. It's not that the statement's bad. It's that to me, the statement shouldn't have came from the actors. It should have came from the people who created the project, who put them on this platform. Like,
Yeah.
there needs to be a level of care towards your artist, you know? Like if you're putting them out there for the world to see and you're having them in these very vulnerable positions and intimate scenes on camera, the least you can do is protect them once the world sees it. And I think leaving it to the responsibility of the people being attacked to have to defend themselves is never going to sit right with me. And so I don't think it's the statement that's bad. I think it's the fact that it had to come from Francois and Hudson and the other cast members that isn't sitting right with me. Because had it come from Crave Canada, I bet it probably would have acknowledged a few more things and just been a bit more direct. Like, and
Because
again,
that's what it sounds like. It sounds like you're defending yourself, and why wouldn't you? It's
right,
like, why
right,
wouldn't I? Of course, I don't want you to be homophobic towards me or
right.
ageist or like, why would I want you to do that? So of course I'm going to come and defend myself.
Hmm.
So coming from them, it just sounds like, well, duh, like anybody
Right,
would defend themselves against that kind of
right.
thing. Whereas had it come from like the network or
Mhm.
maybe Jacob or somebody like
Right,
higher up in the chain, it probably would have had a different impact. I think that's part of the reason why it maybe fell on deaf ears. The people that
yeah,
needed to hear it, they already don't give a fuck. If they're already calling you X, Y, and Z, like they don't give a fuck that you don't, they want you to be
yeah,
more bothered, right? Like I think that's why, the people that needed to hear it probably didn't because they already don't care how you
right,
feel about it, or they wouldn't have been saying the stuff to you in the first place.
right.
Like
It feels like they're kind of exploiting the cast, just, oh yeah,
mm,
we're gonna cast you, book you, you film this show, it's gonna get really big, but then you're kind of on your own,
yeah,
on this huge level, so many eyes on you that you've never experienced before. Now, granted, they had no idea the show was gonna be as big as it was, so I don't blame them for that. But yeah, I think after finding out how big the show was, they really had after what was it, November 28th? Because after them first two episodes dropped, it blew up.
Yeah.
And they
oh
had
my
from
God.
then till honestly the show ended, or I'll say, because the fandom was kind of nice in the early days. It was nice.
It was
Um,
so fun in the beginning.
yeah, but I think it should have came from Crave Canada. I think the same way it's really just Jacob had no problem saying stop asking about their sexualities. He had no problem saying that. And he said it multiple times. He had no problem defending that. But you can't say, hey, the racist shit is not gonna fly. Like we don't tolerate that. We don't want your support. Like the same way, I mean, even Oliver Stark, he was like, you don't need to announce you're leaving when people were upset that Buck came out as bi. I thought that was a good statement, but again, he was defending a fictional character. He's not defending himself. So I think just having it come from the people who are being attacked, it just feels wrong. Like I've like kind of like let them get up, let them fight back a little bit, help them out. It should have came from Crave, Jacob. I want to say Rachel, but I don't think people would have listened to Rachel.
Yeah.
Um, I think it should have came from Jacob or Crave. Honestly, I'm gonna stick to Jacob because again, he had no problem saying stop questioning their sexuality, and he was right to say so
Right.
because it's none of our goddamn business. And it was also very performative that people cared. No one gives a fuck that the actor who plays Kip is straight and reportedly rumored to be dating the girl who plays Elena. That's like what they be saying on the street. So I'm like,
Ooh,
no one
like
gives a
that's
fuck
cute.
about that. Right. They would be cute. Like, but no one gives a fuck about that. And he also played a gay man on the show. So it was performative that so many people cared about Hudson and Connor because I'm like, you didn't even keep the same energy for the 4 main cast members, only for those two. And really, first it was Connor and Hudson, and then it was just Hudson. Because people made their own assumptions about Connor, and now people are kind of making their own assumptions about Hudson. But I'm like, it's again, it just all goes back to parasocial. But I think the statement should come from Jacob, and I mean, that's where a lot of fandoms lack that intersectionality, where, oh, we'll defend that they have a right to privacy with their sexuality and people shouldn't be homophobic, biphobic, any sort of bigoted towards them. But we're going to stay silent on you calling him slurs that haven't been used since fucking World War II. Like, you can't call yourself, you can't say you're defending your artists, you're defending your actors if you're not going to defend them from everything. Like, because I get, oh, we're not on the internet, we don't see that. Again, common sense. What person of color who has reached fame, any level of fame, hasn't faced racism? Name one. So why would you think Hudson would be the exception?
Wake it up.
It doesn't make any sense. So I don't buy that whole, oh, I'm not on the internet, I don't see it. That's a goddamn lie. You know exactly what's going on. So I personally don't believe that. Yeah.
Mm. You
And
clocked
that's how Sue sees it.
it.
Well, Tay doesn't know what that means, but
Oh,
And
Tay, you gotta
no,
catch up.
another Glee reference.
Because everything goes back to Glee.
It does.
all roads lead
It
back to
does.
Glee.
Well, I guess that's gonna wrap our episode today. I know that everybody should know where to find y'all currently, but as many episodes as we've done together. But for the sake of those just now watching this one, this is where they start. Please let them know where to find y'all and what y'all have coming out.
Yes, you can find me on TikTok or you. Oh, my light just went out. You can find me on TikTok or YouTube at Hallie Hallie. I am currently rewatching Grey's Anatomy, so if you want to join in on that and hear all my thoughts about it.
Fab. You can find me on TikTok for now. I'm just playing. At Tress in the City. And yes, that is a Sex in the City reference. I'm gonna be restarting Pretty Little Liars, I think. I'm also kind of watching Scandal. We'll see what God does.
Okay. Like I said, that's gonna wrap the episode. Thank y'all for joining. Thank y'all for listening. We appreciate our special guests for coming back as always. It was a lovely time. And we'll see y'all in the next one.
Yeah.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.